It's finally happening. No more delays. The Canon EOS R5 Mark II is going to be announced very soon. Last week, Canon Rumors told us that the EOS R5 Mark II would be announced at the end of May, sometime between May the 21st and May the 23rd, but they weren't able to confirm this information, stating that a few things have to happen first. Then yesterday, Kevin told me that he'd just been talking with a UK camera retailer that they've been asked to attend an all-day training session tomorrow on April the 18th. They said that everything is very secretive. And while I was sleeping, I received information that it is happening in Germany and Brazil, but well, it's early in the morning here. It's around 3:30, and Canon Rumors has already broken the story, saying that now we've heard of training sessions over the next few weeks in various European countries. The usual suspects in the United States will also be doing their own information meetings with Canon USA shortly. So are you ready for the exact date and time? Yeah, so am I, but we don't have that, although Canon Rumors did tease us a little bit, confirming their date range of around 5 weeks. We are likely about 5 weeks away from Canon officially announcing the Canon EOS R5 Mark II, along with a development type announcement for the EOS R1. Development type announcement? What does that mean? Is this going to be one of those sort of Panasonic announcements they made at CES several years ago about the GH6? About a camera that cannot be named? Oh, I hope not. One thing I get a sense of when we hear that it's going to be a type announcement is while they're doing their big fanfare about the Canon EOS R5 Mark II announcement, right at the end they'll give us a little bit of a teaser saying, oh, and the King is back, or the 1DX Mark III successor will have an announcement for you shortly that will be coming. Who knows? Something. I don't think it's going to be what we received for the Canon 1DX Mark III, which we got in October of 2019, and it was a full detailed list that was published in a news release telling us about what that camera was going to be like and all the wonderful capabilities. No, I sense this is going to be some sort of teaser in the Canon EOS R5 Mark II announcement, and I can tell you already that I've got a live stream planned. I've already booked a few days off between that May the 21st and 23rd, so I will cover this live once I have more information, and I do expect information to start coming very soon. Canon Rumors does go on further saying that Canon is going to be using the Euro 2024 and the Paris Olympic Games to hype up their new machines, which worked very well when launching the Canon EOS R3. Oh, I'm starting to get a little bit excited. I was just talking to a few people yesterday that had brought me information, and I wanted to convey them that things were going on, that I was just waiting for confirmation. I was trying to get that confirmation. Sadly, I got the confirmation while I was asleep, but I'm starting to get excited, if you can't tell. All this talk about the EOS R5 Mark II, it's going to happen at sometime in the middle of 2023. That turned out not to be true, and then we were supposed to be getting it around CP+, and that turned out not to be true. Then Canon Rumors said we're supposed to be getting an announcement sometime between May the 21st, or actually it was April, then it got bumped to May the 21st to 23rd, and I just thought, I'm not going to get too excited. We don't have any leaked specifications, any leaked pricing or images, but now I feel a lot more confident that this is definitely happening by the end of May. Craig at Canon Rumors has already come out and said definitely before the end of May. We've got the 21st to the 23rd. I've got that pigeonholed in my camera to take a day off. I've actually grabbed a few days just in preparation. Oh, things are getting really close. But the one frustrating thing is, even though it's about 5 weeks away, we still don't have any valid leak specifications of the Canon EOS R5 Mark II or the Canon EOS R1. Although we are supposed to be getting a 35mm f1.4 announced along with the R5 Mark II. Rumors have been pointing to an image sensor that's anywhere from, 45 megapixels, right around the same as what we see in the Mark I, to 60, 61, and 62 megapixels. So that's all over the place. The one thing I expect, and the one thing that Canon Rumors is also alluding to, is that regardless of the resolution, it is going to be a stacked sensor, and that's going to be a really good that's going to be really good, because that gives us increased dynamic range, better low light performance, and based on all the patent applications that I've seen, and 2 that I've already got ready, scripted, shot, recorded, uploaded on YouTube. One of them was supposed to come out this morning, but I'm going to bump that till tomorrow, is talking about increasing the dynamic range improving low light performance of the Canon EOS. Well, they don't talk about the Canon EOS R5 Mark II specifically, or the R1, but I've seen a good 3 to 4 patents that indicate that. So that's a foregone conclusion. And one thing we can also expect for the Canon EOS R5 Mark II, as we've seen with digital cameras over the past 20 years with Canon, each one that comes out increases dynamic range. Now, sometimes it's just half a stop or a full stop, and I don't know what we're going to get here, but a stacked sensor definitely does improve dynamic range and low light performance. But the resolution, I hope it's going to be right around 45 to 50 megapixels. I think that's the sweet spot for this camera. As a photographer, I find that 45 megapixels is more than enough, and sometimes I find it a little bit too much. Whereas for video, it's also perfect because it gives me 8K video, and that's really good. But now if it went up to 50, that would give me 8K oversample. But no one, not the Camera Insider, not Canon Rumors, not the new camera, not myself, has heard anything that it's going to be somewhere between 45 and 50. It's just either 50 or then it jumps all the way up to the low 60s. And one of the set of specifications I found the most interesting, but also with the most amount of red flags, was the one we received on Black Friday of 2022. Do you remember that one? This one right here. All these specifications, there's way too many red flags. Now, what it seems to be is that somebody took the Sony a7R5, and they grabbed some of the specifications from there, such as 61 megapixels. That's a very interesting resolution because only Sony has a 61 megapixel sensor, and Canon's not using Sony sensors. They make their own sensors, and I've seen enough patent applications to show that this is something that's going to happen for a very long time. We could get a dual gain sensor for the R1 or the R5 Mark II, as patent applications have shown this. So there were many red flags. One of them talked about dual CF Express Type B card slots in the R5, which when you look at the R3 being just $500 less than the 1 Series when it was announced, if they weren't willing to give that camera dual CF Express Type B card slots when it's essentially a better camera than the 1 Series, the 1DX Mark III, I can't really see the R5 getting it. And there were so many other specifications in there that just didn't quite fit. Now, they were very detailed, but it just didn't seem to make any sense. And of course, lately, the Camera Insider, which is apparently no longer in business, gave us a whole bunch of detailed specifications stating that it's going to be 62 megapixels, that it's going to be stacked, that it's going to do 8K video up to 120 frames per second, 4K up to 180 or 240 frames per second. We're just going to have to wait and see. But I do have a few sources that are trying to get me information at this point from multiple points across the globe. So I would expect we'll start to get some more information in the upcoming days and weeks. I told you, once NAB was over, and wow, the ashes haven't even cooled on NAB 2024, which was very boring. I'm kind of glad I didn't end up going. I told you right after NAB, we just got this information today. So now we're going to start to expect to get specs, especially with all these retailers having announcements. People are going to start telling their friends. They're going to say, don't tell anyone. And then before long, I'm going to get it. Canon Rumors is going to get it, or the new camera, somebody else is going to leak this information. So that's really exciting. But some of you have said you're a little bit frustrated waiting for the Canon EOS R5 Mark II. Some of you have said that you can't afford it. Now, we don't know the price. Now, but one thing I think is a very safe assumption is I think the price of the Canon EOS R5 Mark II is going to be right around the same price as the Mark I was announced for. And why do I say that? Well, if we look at the Canon EOS R6, which was announced for $24.99 last year, well, just in November before last year, Canon Rumors released the R6 Mark II, and it had the exact same price as the Mark I. And I should say the market indicators that led to that are the same market indicators that I'm seeing today. And that's the Japanese yen has lost an awful lot of, well, strength against the US dollar. Things are starting to improve. We're seeing some very, very positive leading indicators out of Japan showing that the economy is starting to grow. They've actually raised their bank rate above, they actually had negative rates. They've raised their bank rate It's not a whole lot, but this is showing positive signs. But still, there's a huge gap between the US dollar and the Japanese yen. That's why we saw the R6 Mark II price not increasing over the Mark I. And what I expect with the announcement coming up for US dollars, I don't expect the price of the R5 Mark II to be that much more than the R5 Mark I. That being said, if it's a major game changer of an update, then yes, we'll probably see some sort of price uptick. But I really don't expect much because the Nikon Z8, the direct competition for the R5 Mark II, is at $39.99. So I expect the price of the R5 Mark II to be around $38.99 to at most $40.99 or $41.99. But from what I'm hearing from my sources is it's going to be a very good solid upgrade where everyone's going to want to buy this camera, at least those that have the R5 Mark I. However, if it's still a bit too much for you, then you might want to consider the Mark I because it's currently on sale. It was on sale for $29.99, but it's now on sale for $31.99. And you can buy it at B&H, Amazon, and Adorama. In fact, at Adorama, they're still throwing in a 128 gigabyte CF Express Type B card and card reader. But if you want to go cinema, you want to do video, well, the R5C is also on sale, still at its record-breaking low price of $35.99. And for the first time in a long time, Sony cameras are on sale. We have a sale on the a7S III, the a7 IV, and the a7 R5. But let's get back to the Canon EOS R1. We do have some sort of development announcement type announcement for that camera that's going to be happening in the last week of May, right around the May the 21st to 23rd. So we could expect that. We're also going to be expecting finally, after so many years, going back to 2019, 2018, we'll get the 35mm f1.4. So that's really, really exciting. But there's something else we might be getting as well. You see, Canon has registered not 2, but 3 cameras. And there's been some talk that we might be getting the Canon EOS R5C Mark II announced at the same time as the Canon EOS R5. Now, from a marketing standpoint, from a customer standpoint, this makes an awful lot of sense. Here's our photocentric version called the Canon EOS R5 Mark II. And here's a video-centric version of that camera, or to be more precise, a cinema version, the EOS R5 Mark II. But the R5 Mark II was announced 2 years ago, so that would considerably increase or reduce the refresh cycle for this camera. We don't have any hard specific information on this, but Canon Rumors has also said that we've heard it from multiple people that the R5 Mark II may be announced at the same time. But we do have 3 registered cameras. We have, let me see if I can remember, DS126922, which is the Canon EOS R5 Mark II, and we also have the DS126928. That's the Canon EOS R1. But back in early February, when we got the registrations for 2 cameras, one of them is a cinema camera because it has the designation of ID 0179. And again, looking back to the Canon EOS R5C Mark I, it had ID 0159. So cinema cameras start with an ID prefix for a camera registration, while the digital stills cameras start with, well, DS for digital stills. So this could be a really, really big time. I'm going to be booking some time off so I can cover this live with you, have some special guests from all over the globe, from hopefully Australia, from Europe, from here in North America, and I'm going to get ready for a really big announcement. So you can finally start to get excited, folks. You can finally start to realize that things are really happening. We're not going to have to wait till the fall. We're not going to have to wait until 2025. Yeah, I know, Mark. I know, Mark. Based on supply shortages, we might likely have to wait until the fall. I do get that. So that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this live stream, guys, is if you want to get this right away, follow me on the live stream. I've already got special pre-order links down below. These guys right here that have been there for much of the video. And the reason why I have these special pre-order links is camera retailers like Adorama and B&H, they're going to have multiple pre-order links for the Canon EOS R5 as well as their own kit packages. So what these are is designed as soon as the embargo is lifted. If you bookmark these links, save them in your browser, what they're going to do is they're going to present you with every single pre-order option once the embargo is lifted for the Canon EOS R5 at I was going to say Canon USA, at B&H and Adorama as well as Amazon.com. So that way you can get a chance to pre-order before anybody else. Even if you're not 100% sure, go ahead and pre-order it, because most likely the shipping date isn't going to happen for a couple of weeks after the announcement. And then if you're not sure, you can go ahead and cancel. And you're better off to go ahead and start the pre-order process, because if you wait even a day, just look at what happened to those that pre-ordered, like Kathy pre-ordered the RF 200 to 800 millimeter. They still don't have it. And these are people who pre-ordered on the same day that it was announced on November the 2nd. They still don't have it. So yeah, it's all I can say. I hate pre-ordering myself. Until 2020, I never pre-ordered anything. But from just the way the marketplace has been, Canon still has trouble meeting the demands of certain lenses, the 200 to 800, the 135 millimeter, the 5.2 millimeter, a few lenses. So this is one of the things I try to do. I cover all the news and rumors leading up to the event. I do a live stream, and then we get to watch YouTubers such as Petapixel, Fronos, Tony Northrup, Dwayne, and others give you their first hands-on experience. And I won't be having any NDAs with Canon. I won't have a camera first hands-on, because if I do that, I won't be able to tell you about all the stuff leading up to the event. Now, there is a chance I could get a camera within a week before the announcement, as I did with the Mark I, but there's no guarantees. So if you want to stay up to date on all the latest and greatest regarding the Canon EOS R5 Mark II, the Canon EOS R5C Mark II, and the Canon EOS R1, as well as what other lenses we might be getting with the announcement or accessories, then go ahead and subscribe to this YouTube channel and choose all notifications. And you can also follow me on X. You don't have to, but it's there as an option for you. The way YouTube's algorithm works these days, if you just watch one of my videos, they start flooding you with a whole bunch. I know it's a little bit irritating. I get the same thing. I just, in a moment of lack of judgment, I'll click on a dating video or something else, and then all of a sudden, for the next few weeks, it's like 20 different channels about dating stuff want me to start watching their stuff, and I couldn't care less. I'm married. I'm not looking. But, you know, it's kind of like seeing, well, an accident on the freeway as you're driving by. You can't help but slow down and take a look. But that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching till the end of the video. I greatly appreciate it. Oh, one other thing too, if you do use my pre-order links, and a big thanks to everybody that has, I do get a small commission back from 2 to 12%, which goes right back to helping support this channel. Big thanks to everybody. That Canon EOS R5 Mark II, I can guarantee you that I'm going to be purchasing, whether it's a big update, a solid update, or a game changer, because, well, I need a second camera. And, well, I'm looking forward to letting you know what it's like to live with that camera day in and day out. The R5 Mark I, I've had it for 4 years, and I've shot well over 1,300 videos, several films, and I got to tell you, it just keeps going and going and going. A real solid camera. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Have yourself a great week, a great weekend, and we'll see you again soon.